name is Lance Corporal Benjamin Long. I've been in Marjah, Afghanistan for about the last 2.5 months, and this is where we live and operate from. When we initially came over here in 2001, after September 11th, we came over here with the right attitude and the right mentality, but shortly after that we got distracted by the Iraq War, and a lot of the resources and personnel and attention shifted to Iraq, and it really did drain the assets that we could, a war on 2 fronts, but we're able to divert our full attention, resources, all that here now. So I think we're doing a good job at coming in here and gaining a foothold at first, working from there and just pushing farther and farther until hopefully sometime in the near future we won't have to push anymore because we've done it all. But realistically, I think it's going to take more time than we've been allotted. It's definitely a culture shock for Americans that aren't used to, or anybody for that matter that's not used to being in an environment like this, coming from being on the internet every day and checking the news to just getting some ice water. It's non-existent here. Some people come here and they think we're living like cavemen, but I enjoy the freedom out here to operate how we should as Marines and professional military fighting force, and it's really a good experience. The bonding with the other Marines out here, everybody working together, and especially when we lose somebody, it's always hard, but being so close with the guys out here, we help each other through it, and it definitely makes it a lot easier having that brotherly bond.
For me, the hardest thing is being away from my son and my wife. I got a son who's a little bit over 2, and every time I call home I feel like I'm missing something, missing another milestone.
Terrain is really interesting. There's a lot more water than you would think. It's a lot of farmlands, but farmlands mixed in with canals and dirt roads that are laced with IEDs.
There's canals out here, they're like 6 foot deep that you need help crawling out of, and it's just really hard to move around and stuff like that. Really, it's really physical, especially with all the gear on. We're like 80, 90 pounds extra gear, along with the rifle, flak, Kevlar, all that stuff. It weighs you down. It's really beats you up. It's really tiring. Everyone comes back from patrol pretty sore, and it's like a constant gruel. There's no days off. So every day, it's just putting that flak on and walking anywhere from like a mile up to 5 miles a day through this kind of terrain.
It's really hard at first because it's hard to tell the difference between the Taliban or just innocent civilians, because they all dress the same. There's no set uniform for the Taliban, so you've got the sympathizers that are on that support the Taliban, but they're not openly hostile to us, and they won't give us any information. They'll say the Taliban hasn't been here when we just got shot at maybe 20 minutes earlier. Then you've got the people that just want it all to stop, so they just go inside. And they're not hostile, they're not friendly, they just don't care. They've seen so much war between the Russians and local warlords that nothing really phases them. And then obviously you got the people that are out there to kill us, the Taliban themselves.
All right, hey Samuel. Oh, sorry, it's right fucking there.
It's basically like a turf war. We're coming in here and we're kicking them off their turf and establishing our presence, and they'll push back and we keep pushing back on them, and it just goes back and forth, but we're definitely making headway.
It's hard to fight because you don't know who's who. You don't know who the bad guys are. So they have pretty much free reign. They can move around really easily. And just the way that we get attacked, it's really frustrating because, as like the Marines, we kind of want to fight them. We want to stand toe to toe and get into gunfights. But the way that they want to fight, it's pretty much their game. We're playing by their rules. They hit us, and then they go to the next compound. Shoot comes around us. Go to the next compound, and it's like a little cat and mouse game.
if we're in a firefight for any length of time, we will call in air. I mean, call in support from mortars or artillery or somebody with the big guns. I've seen the Taliban a couple of times, but it's only for brief seconds. It's like fighting ghosts. They're in and they're out, and they're quick. They've been doing this a long time. They know what they're doing. They're good at it.